What's up, guys? Rusty Drives the Bus here. So today I'm going to go over some squad builds, your tech, as well as T10s. So the first suggestion I can make to you is whatever your squad is, stick with that. Unless you're a larger player who's looking to spend a large amount to push multiple squads, my suggestion is stop trying to switch too soon. So unless you're spending a large amount, when I say large amount, I mean enough to keep up not only with your squads and your tech, but as well as everything else, drone components, your drone chips, your gear, all those things come into play, right? My thing too is I'm not going to touch too much into T10s because I can make a whole video on that, but I'm not going to touch there. But what I can say is if you think that you rushing to T10s or getting to HQ30 is going to have you beat these large whales or larger players, you're really mistaken. You're going to find out really fast. The T10s are not going to make your gear better. The T10s are not going to make your drone components better. The T10s are not going to update and make your tech better. So for example, if you're pushing your tech here and you're only focused on getting here, there's a lot you're missing out on. And you can see those in your reports. But what I'm going to touch on too is a report I got from one of the players, which was from Maggie, and show you what I don't agree with. This is what I talk about all the time, right? Why are people, again, everyone can build however they want. Why are people pushing, for example, on a Carly, your armor instead of going radar? And I understand the theory because naturally Carly's going to have energy damage resistance from her skills, but at the same time, I'd rather take the radar at a red gear blueprint than take a armor first. Same thing with the chip. Why would I push my chip there when I could not do that, go Sky's fourth gold chip on her gun, and then have that done, and then I can push that another place. Or what I would have done is done a radar on Carly, radar on Lucas, and then I would have pushed anywhere else I had. I don't like the way it was built out, but again, everyone does it differently. But again, this is what I talk about. People don't know what they don't know, right? This is why I say this. So I come into here and I show you why I feel this is better. So again, I talked about this on the previous video. Reduced damage from critical hits is 30%. That is reduced from there, right? Where compared to this, it's not guaranteed. Reduced chance of taking critical hits by 15%. Reduces the chance. There is a chance, 15, and to me, the math always sounds better when it's a higher number. But that just goes to show you the physical damage. Yes, you get 20% there. But again, I'm gonna take this. If I'm pushing red gear and I have enough, or gold and everything else, I'm pushing this all day. Like not even a chance, not even a question. Even though the energy it's adding to there. And majority of the time too, let's go into this report and we'll actually look at what the damage was. But we can go here and look. Let's see what it was. So I don't really care about that. I want to go to someone comparable in size. So we look here. Let's go here. How much energy damage were they taking? Physical damage was 57.85. Physical damage, 700,000, right? So we look here, you can see the amount of damage. Took a lot more energy damage, right? So really it benefits her in that essence already, because we can also look here at her. That's where the advantage, again, the advantage is here. This is really mainly where you're going to start to see a huge difference. Does these numbers have to be relatively super close? No, but within a couple, this is 9, this is 10, very close and similar in statute. And then we come here and all these ones are in your battle report. These are huge, but again, we talk about this all the time. You can go and see where your weaknesses are. Most of it's hero or special forces or things like that. But again, when this person gets close into a battle, the issue they're going to run into is maybe it's super close and they lose by a couple seconds or a couple extra hits. That radar is going, I think, to play a huger role than my armor. Do I think it's bad to push armor red? No, but I think you can go second on the armor. And the chip, I would do absolutely less, because the chip only really benefits you, reduces damage taken on counter counters against enemies. So if you're going against air, it's not going to do what you think it's going to do. It's really not. This is why I said you're almost better off. You don't need your ready gear. You just need regular prints. Getting all these to 4, right? Because there's no purpose to me besides extra damage against counter, right? So I get those all to 4, and then when I decide to push my ready gear and get them, then that's what I'm going to do. Just like here, I'm pushing radar. Does it make sense for the first couple to push your armor? Of course it does, because the benefit is good. But like I said, when you get down to here, I'll take 15% more than 15% compared to 30. I'm going to take 30 all day with that reduced damage. The 30% is huge. And that's what I talk about. People, just because people spend doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it in the right way. And like I said, you can build your gear and do everything any way you want. But that's the issue too. And the issue I see too is here in tech. So everyone is obsessed with pushing to get here, right? What do we miss out on? And again, I'm not going to go crazy into this because this is more T10 and telling you how to do your tech. This is more just saying there's a lot of areas you can cover that'll give you strong. And what is the concept of this game right now is push, 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 push. HQ 30, HQ 30, T10s, T10s. What do we neglect the fact of our other areas, right? We neglect the fact of our tech is not up to subpar. If you're, and I call this a fake 30, if you're pushing to 30 and T10s and that's all you're pushing, you're not focusing on anything else, your tech, your heroes, you're gonna go against someone like me or someone who's not a 30, who's doing everything they want right. They're building out their gear, they're building out their drone components, they're building out their drone chips, they're building out their hero gear properly. And if you're just pushing for T10s and 30s and you're not doing any of that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go against someone who appears weaker than you. Like, there's some in my server. You're going to go against them, you're going to get crushed. And then you're going to be mad or not have an understanding why. And one of my larger players, I do one-on-one with her. I go through everything. My concept is simply this. Unless you're spending a lot, and if you do want to push, we do the rock, paper, scissors, right? There's no point if you're going, the game pushes you to do tank first. First thing you get, all the heroes are geared towards that. If you're doing tank, this is your message. I repeat, if you're doing tank, this is your message to stay with tank. There's no reason to push missile unless you're not going tank. For example, if my primary is air, that's all I'm focused on, but my secondary is tank. There's no point of me pushing all three just to have them, because my tank is going to counter the missile. My only weakness is going to be missile against air. So if I'm pushing 2 squads, which I'm really not, I'm just dumping my resources extra into the tank squad, then I only lose 1 time in rock, paper, scissors. For example, if my rock is my air and my scissors is my tank, then the only thing I'm going to lose against is going to be the missile. So that's what you really have to keep in play. The tank is going to go a long way, because if you look in the progression of this game, you're going to see right now, like if we go in here and we look, what is the majority of people doing? Air, right? So what are people going to counter soon? The most of the counter you're going to see is going to be missile, as we see here. What is going to beat this missile? Tank. So why would I push? If I'm going to push missile here, let's say the next phase, everyone goes missile. If I go missile, what advantage do I have? And the answer is none. So think a couple moves ahead. If you're tank and you're getting beat by air, that's fine. Don't get discouraged. Keep pushing your tank. And what my suggestion would be is once you have it strong enough, go for air. Because again, your only weakness is going to be missile. So missile doesn't benefit you really if you're going tank, because you already have a squad that's going to beat that. The only other thing you could do it vice versa, is do tank and missile, and air would be your weakest. But again, you're most likely going to have to catch up unless you're keeping up on your heroes. But my suggestion to most players is choose 2. You don't need to do all 3 unless you're a mega whale and you just want to drop loads of money, or you're a large spender. That is my suggestion. But naturally, this game geared you towards tank. You can see I didn't invest a lot into tank, and you can see where my tank is currently. It's at 14 million, which is not terrible. You can see where my air is. It's not terrible. But those are my suggestions. So again, if you're going to push 30 and you're going for T10s and that's all you care about, God bless you. But at the same time, if your tech is underdeveloped, you're going to have issues. So again, guys, I hope this video helps. As always, if you want to help, share, like this channel. If you want to donate, you can donate as well. Reach me out on Twitch, Discord, or in the game. All right, guys, see you out there. Later.